Real estate agents, I'm talking to you. This is a video I made just for you. So today we're going to be talking about what type of agent are you? Are you a listing agent? Are you a buyer's agent? Are you a rental agent? Are you an investment agent? What type of agent are you? Do you even know what type of agent you are? Well, we're going to discuss it on today's video. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Carolynn Castillo. I'm a listing agent and a team leader with Absolute Top Dollar, and we are powered by the greatest brokerage in the entire world called eXp Realty. You already know, the best brokerage on the planet. So today we're going to get into the differences between the both agents. Now, as you heard me say, I am a listing agent. So ever since I got started in the business, I decided I wanted to work with sellers. Now, of course, I did a lot of other things at the beginning. I did rentals. Actually, if most of you know my story, I started doing rentals. But you know what's funny? Even in that space, when I started doing rentals, I started doing rental listings. So sometimes just whatever you're meant to do, it kind of just gravitates and pulls you in that direction. So it's interesting that I was working at a rental office, but I was doing rental listings. Now, there's a lot of different niches in real estate. I mean, you get one license and you can do so many things. You can sell, apartments, you can sell houses, you can sell buildings, you can sell businesses, you can sell apartment buildings. I mean, I love the business, and sometimes that's what drives us crazy in the business, because we can do so many things that we just want to do it all and we don't specialize in anything. And that's where most real estate agents fail, is because they're all over the place, but yet they're not really mastering any of the skills. So here at Absolute Top Dollar, what we do is we mentor and we train and we master the art of finding motivated sellers that are interested in selling their properties and turning around and selling their properties for absolute top dollar. Hint, that's why our team's name is Absolute Top Dollar, okay? So what are the pros and cons? So typically, you have a listing agent and a buyer agent, okay? Now, each of them have strengths and each of them have weaknesses, okay? So being a listing agent, I'll speak with that one first because that's the one I'm most familiar at. So what are some of the benefits of being a listing agent? Well, everybody knows in this current market, being a listing agent was very powerful, and it's still very powerful. Why? Because there's so few listings that as long as I'm able to get a new listing and put it on the market, then guess what? All the buyer's agents come to me. And this current market that we've been in the last 2 years, I mean, I'm telling you, I have literally had buyer's agents crying on my shoulder of how hard the business has been for them. I mean, when you get referrals now and people say, oh yeah, my friend wants to buy a house, you're almost like, oh, please no, because you know how challenging the market is, and you know that you're going to be, every night and weekend. I mean, there's agents right now that have been working months trying to get their buyer approved in this crazy market. So this market particularly shows the value of being a listing agent. Now, before this crazy market, I was still a listing agent. And you know what? My job was harder. Now I'm getting rewarded, I think, for all the years that I put in, really having to be tried and true. But now it's been just a cakewalk. Any listing that you have, it's like a Pac-Man, So it's been a good blessing, and I've been thankful that all those years of training and mastering my skill, sure, did I sell a couple houses to buyers here and there? Most of the time when I work with a buyer, it was because they were selling their house and they needed to upsize or they needed to downsize. Most of the times that's when I did. Every once in a while, I would work with a straight buyer that maybe came in on my listing. That house didn't work for them, and then I sold them another house. But I really don't like it, to be honest with you. It's not my specialty. Now, I will do it, and I have a team now, and I have buyer's agents now that I'm happy to pass those leads off to. But if you really tell me, like, what do you love to do? It's being a listing agent. And the reason why is being a listing agent, you are the one that is setting the right expectations, okay? You're meeting with the sellers and they want to sell their house. You're actually acting more as a consultant, more as a, setting them up, like what are things that they need to do to fix up the house to get absolute top dollar. What is the price that the house is done? Now that's a skill, okay? This is not a button that you press in the MLS and, voila, just produces a CMA. No, it's an actual skill to be able to actually comp properties, okay? So this is something as a listing agent is very powerful. Now, also as a listing agent, you have to know how to take good pictures. Not me personally, but when I hire the photographer, I have to be able to market the property properly. I have to be able to set the expectation with the seller that we're gonna sell the house at this price. I'm gonna have to be good with negotiations. So when all the offers come in, I'm gonna have to know how to review the offers, how to speak with mortgage brokers, how to make sure that the terms and everything is correct for my sellers. These are all skills that a listing agent has. Now, is there pressure and being a listing agent? Huge pressure, okay? Because why? Because you're basically telling the homeowner, this is how much your house is worth. To me, that's a lot of pressure. I don't take that lightly because you know what? Your house, selling real estate, that's a huge asset, okay? It's the biggest asset that anybody ever owns in their life. So I would never in a million years want to shortchange anybody or leave money on the table that should have been in their pocket. So it's the pressure of, being the bold one to say, this is how much your house is worth. This is what the market is going to do. This is the best offer, because we know that the seller ultimately chooses the buyer, right? So in this market, there's so many offers, right? Ultimately, the seller's choosing. I'm not choosing. They're the ones signing the contract. But what is the number one question that your seller asks you? Which one do you think I should take? Okay, they always ask you that question. So you have the pressure of being like, yes, I checked out their credentials. I spoke with their mortgage broker. I know that they're committed to going through with this transaction. I know. And sometimes, that's a lot of pressure that we carry as a listing agent, not everybody likes that pressure, So if you're a person that doesn't like pressure, probably being a listing agent is not the right thing for you, okay? But being a buyer's agent, there's a lot of stress too. So as a buyer's agent, you have to drive buyers around. You've got to go, nights and weekends. You got to be showing properties, And one thing that if you don't get a buyer's agreement signed or take a retainer up front as a buyer's agent, sometimes you can shop with somebody for, a month, 2 months, and then just out of nowhere, they'll be like, yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to buy a house anymore, and you've now invested all that time, all that energy into helping that person find a house. Or you find out that, they weren't actually qualified at the end and you were running around, So buyer's agents have a lot of stress, and so do listing agents. You got to pick your poison, guys. You got to decide and be 100%. I'm a buyer's agent, 100% I'm a listing agent. Now, I'm not saying that if you're a listing agent and somebody comes across your desk that they're an excellent buyer and they're realistic and you can get the job done for them, that you're going to decline them. But what I'm saying is that you need to master the skills that it requires to be that listing agent or to be that buyer's agent, okay? And real quick, if you haven't noticed already, if you are a buyer's agent, this is probably not the YouTube channel for you or the video to be watching, because if I had to be a buyer's agent or not be in the real estate business, I would not be in the real estate business. I don't have the makeup to be a full-time buyer's agent, to do, 5 to 10, buyer transactions a month. I don't have the mental, it's just not my skill set. It's not my skill set. Me negotiating, talking with sellers, comping properties, marketing properties, negotiating, those are all my my strengths. And that's what this video is all about, is choosing which agent you are and continuing to develop the skills. So if you watch this video and you're motivated, you're like, I want to be a listing agent. I want to focus 100% on being a listing agent. Then stick with me, subscribe to this channel. Every week, we're going to be posting things that our team does to be top listing agents in our market and how we've learned over, tried and true. This didn't work, this worked, this didn't work. We're going to be sharing our steps of what has made us successful as listing agents in our markets, in our communities, and ultimately bringing success to everyone, the sellers, the buyers, our families, ourselves. It's a very rewarding career. And so thank you so much for watching the video. Put in the comments below, what are you? Are you a listing agent or are you a buyer's agent? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.